1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Mudblood podcast. I am Paddy McDonnell. I'm joined today by my co-host, who was missing last week, but missed him so much, Mr. William Thompson.
I was really confused with Ben Nicky on.
Yeah,
Ben couldn't get in, so I love Ben Nicky, but couldn't get in.
He
What a
couldn't
gent,
get in.
by the way.
What?
What a gent.
Yeah, Ben Nicky is a legend.
He's a fucking
Real nice
sweetheart of a man. Like, he's
Real
so
nice
sound.
guy.
So sound.
Yeah, so it was good to have him in. But we're back this week, and we have a special guest, my friend John, who I've recently just found on his Instagram page, Bag of Noodles. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. John.
Alright,
What is the crack?
How's it going?
So,
Brent.
Willie and Sean knew nothing about the guest this week.
We were
He was
speculating.
speculating.
Nothing more terrifying than Paddy going, I'm bringing someone in, and then not telling you who it is.
And the main reason is
Could be anyone.
I didn't want you to research John, and
Yeah.
I didn't research John as far as just what I've seen of his videos, because I want to hear a story. And it's just, I'm fed up with all this bollocks of Ireland's full and there's not enough room for anybody. And I think John's a great guest to have on to talk about this and talk about his journey and fucking how his life has been.
Patrick initially says that Willie, you haven't met this person, and I was going, is dad?
It's really
Yeah. Because then she went, was it my dad? And then you went, we haven't met him. I said, you were like, was it Willie's dad?
but he has met him. You have met him.
Who, John?
Your own dad.
Oh, right, no, yeah, I've met my dad, yeah. I've met
Right,
my John.
well, just to let you know, John's your dad.
Son. All the 18 birthdays was after 18 when you're not getting many presents. That's it.
Fuck, you might be my dad.
I think after your 7th birthday, your dad done that, didn't they?
Oh, don't do that while I'm in here. Burnt the fuck. How you doing, bro? Anyway, you all good?
All good. Fucking Brent. It's great to be here.
Yeah,
It's great to
thank you
be
for
here. The
coming
fucking
on.
legend yourselves, yeah.
Yep. So, like Pike said, like I've seen a few of your videos now, but I didn't do the research because he didn't tell me. So, how did you discover it, Sean?
On Instagram, I came across a video and I just went, literally one of them moments when you watch something and I spat my tea out, and it was one of them. I was like, fuck, and I was laughing so much because I get a bit of shit for sometimes doing a fucking accent or doing a thing, and my argument is you can do a fucking accent. And one of my bits is about like a foreigner coming to this country and changing their accent, like adapting to the culture.
Oh, aye,
and it's
definitely, yeah.
fucking hilarious, and I love when it happens. And I know so many, like I say, foreigners, the things that live here. I've talked about them 100 times on the podcast. And the Indian family, they're not foreigners because they've been born here. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And they just sound, but people just automatically think, and then when you go to buy a t-shirt off them in the market, they're like, fuck's sake, hurry up and get the fucking fibre, it's fucking freezing. And people go, you know, and I love that shock. I
Oh, yeah,
love that, you know what I
definitely,
mean?
yeah.
Because it was only when I was a kid going to Scotland and you met in Glasgow, like these sort of fucking Chinese or Indian guys, and they had pure Glaswegian accents. And it
Oh,
was,
yes.
whereas the ones here, like I told you about the guy Charlie that owned the Rainbow Chinese down the Falls. He spoke like he was from the Falls.
Yeah.
So it didn't register with me that he wasn't from here. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
he looked different, but it didn't register
Yeah,
with me.
whenever you
that-
mentioned that there, I have never seen a person older than me speaking Belfast.
Yeah.
I've never met anyone like it ever. But I know, like, so if one of my friends, I call her a millbag, a proper millbag. You know, it's Janet from Crumlin Road there. Big shout out, Janet, Crumlin Road, Elements. But she's a proper millbag. She would fucking tear lunch out of you, like.
Well, I went to school with a Chinese girl.
Yeah.
And her daddy owned a Chinese down the Falls, Shirley, and she was proper millbag too. Like,
Shirley Tang
is that who it is?
from the Falls.
Yeah, yeah,
From fucking Silver.
yes.
Fucking big shout out, Shirley Tang, I'm saying. She's made it. She's in the money there.
Whatever happened to Shirley? Because I was talking about it the other
I
week.
tell you exactly what happened. You want to know what fucking happened? Jesus fucking Christ, fucking Shirley. I don't know what you call it, lucky or unlucky. See, when one day me and my friends pulled up, outside fucking her mass takeaway on the Falls and all. I was like, you know, I had a wee thing for Shirley fucking here. Not bad wee thing, but jeepers, you would not believe us here. But the fella she's with No, they're in it with them. They've got a bit of money and stuff, you know, and they're all business minded. We were just young bucks, and we were just like messers, proper messers, in our wee tiny cars and all raking about the place. But we pulled up outside the takeaway, and her ma fucking just like ushered us away because this other Chinese fella was there, and her, I don't know, maybe it could be the he was in with the money. They had a bit of maybe a better prospect for
sure.
the daughter, Shirley. Her flip side, you know, so we were just ushered away, and then ever since we've never seen the girl. We used to run about with all together, me, Shirley, Janet, Stella, and everyone. We always run about together.
Shirley went run about with us like when we were younger
it?
and stuff like that, and she went with my cousin. So it was one of them. He brought her up till the crowd, and she was just one of us. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And she went to school. I went to St Rose's. She was in.
Yeah,
St.
she's
Rose's.
a tiny girl.
Ah, yeah,
Aye.
she's lovely girl.
Fucking hell, like fuck.
It was proper thing. Like she was, and I was talking about it the other week on a podcast, and I was going, I haven't seen her from it. So does she still live here? Or?
No, she's in Liverpool. We actually went to her sister-in-law's wedding. So her husband's sister, we used to run about together, and we went to her wedding there just before COVID.
And does her family still own that same Chinese?
No,
it's different. I thought it was different.
Website, you know.
I thought it was different.
Yeah,
but it's mad. But so Shirley was one growing up and stuff like that. So
proper millbag as well.
Oh, 100%.
Millbag.
100%.
Or fuck's she'll turn lumps in the so well. I think the last I seen on Facebook, they were driving. They're driving Ferraris and all those kind of things.
She's doing rightly, yeah.
Ah, she's doing rightly.
Big change from being on the Falls Road, being a wee millbag.
Oh, I ever plus say.
I'm telling you.
And the other ones are from Elements, the one at
Element other ones aside.
Do they own Elements in Allentown too? Or is that
no, that's completely different.
So what's the beef for? Because there's free
what's the
Elements.
beef? Well, there's Szechuan beef and there's there's curry beef and there's.
But why is so? There's when you ring that R down Elements, they go original Elements because.
Right.
And then there's the other Elements, and then there's the one the
There's an Element on the Antrim Road.
So they answer the phone going original
I
Elements.
think whenever you're flipping, you need those guys need to change their names. But the original Elements is Janet's Element.
The one
That's
on
their
the
name.
Crumlin
I think
Road?
That's Crumlin Road.
So that's Ardoyne, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ardoyne one, isn't it? So yeah, big shout out Janet again.
Is Janet Ardoyne? Like, is she?
West Belfast.
Aye.
I'll say yeah.
I get you.
West Belfast. So she's
She's proper millbag, yeah.
Millbag, proper millbag. Like she'll fucking turtle me. Her flip side.
And
she'll have your car stolen. Her flip side. Mine. Her flip side.
Is Janet? Oh, sorry, not Janet. See yourself. Did you grow up here? Like, were you born here? Or what?
No, I was born in Hong Kong. Born in Hong Kong, grew up in Lisbon.
What a sentence.
I know.
Yeah.
In the same, like Hong Kong, Lisbon, same fucking thing. Up until a couple of years ago, Lisbon didn't have a fucking hotel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to get city status, they had
I
to
know,
get a
but I don't know
hotel.
how the freak would do something like that get city status.
Who was going to Lisbon apart from you from fucking Hong Kong and the British fucking soldiers? That was why. That was why. But I see Lisbon, I favourite people all the time. I always liked Lisbon, shopping in it, going into it.
It's dead. Folks. I don't know why.
It is now.
Why would you leave like Lisbon to come shopping?
Do you know
It's fucking nothing in
But
Lisbon.
back in the day, I
Yeah.
always liked it. And we used to get the train up, and then you would have went
Yeah.
into Lisbon and stole bikes.
Aye, but back in the day,
And it brought them back to the falls.
back in the day, Lisbon was a lot better.
Aye, it
But
was.
now yours like every third shop is closed, boarded up.
I think shops are closing. I think it's a lot of the online things has killed that there.
Online definitely is
know
killed.
So
it.
how old were you when you came
I was
to
literally-
Lisbon?
Probably a couple of months, honestly.
Right, okay, so
basically,
you don't
I always
remember
tell
that.
them.
You've basically lived your life
Yeah,
here.
basically lived here, so I have just my whole life here. But it's I tell everyone I was born in Hong Kong, shipped over, and that was it.
Amazon guy turned up with that.
Amazon.
And what school did you go to in Lisbon?
I went to primary school. I was in Largy Moor Primary School,
Right.
and then secondary school went to Garvey. Listen to Garvey. So
How
all
did you
Lisbon.
find it? How did you find school and stuff
Growing
like
up,
that?
I didn't know any better, but looking back at it now, I would say back in the early 80s, I would have been subject to a lot of racist
But
comments.
you didn't realise.
I didn't realize, but then growing up as well, my dad used to say, fucking, they never called him that, the chink.
Yeah.
Growing up, it would have been the yellow dog. In the 70s, it would have been called the yellow dog, go back to your own country and kind of stuff.
Jesus fucking
That's
Christ.
horrible.
It is
Like,
harsh, sort of.
I thought you were going to say something playful there. Nope, just
Yeah.
straight out. horrendous.
Like I was saying to us as well, like Paddy there just before, a handful of years ago, like honestly, no word of lie. Till someone turned around from telling me, go back to your own country, and I fully grown adult. But
Yeah.
until he heard my flipping Belfast, it's like he was shocked. I said, "You're telling me to go back to my country, mate? You're fucking everything you're probably wearing now is made from China. You're telling me to go back to my country."
Yeah.
But I think he was taken back and just went on.
What
But
was
I was shocking. So it was to me. I was shocking.
What was even the context of it? Did he just walk past you?
I think he was just drunk. So
Aye.
he was just literally drunk. That's going back. I think it was probably about 8 years ago. I reckon. Easy.
Fucking hell.
Aye, right enough. It would have been.
But I mean, for that amount of fucking time, it's just, and I would say a lot more if it's going to come to the fore now because
Yeah.
of the things that's going on. So you have people not fully understanding like that this isn't acceptable, and then they see all this right wing fucking the country's full, blah blah blah. And the mad thing for me is when you see them standing with like loyalists and then fucking so-called fucking Republicans from down south, and they stand together like, no, our country's full, and I'm going, this is a fucking party of themselves.
Yeah, the thing that fucking killed me, remember during the riots of it last year? And they were like, oh, they're coming up, they're taking our jobs, and then they just burnt out businesses.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yes, aye.
and you're like,
That's right.
They're the
That's
people
the
that you're
fuck-
meant
and
to
then-
be for.
That's right. That's like, was I seen on the news there, flipping someone from the Rangers on the Sandy Row.
Yeah.
I was like, why did they do that there? I don't know. They can't even answer.
You can't, no, because they're not smart. This is the point. They're not smart. They
Yeah,
don't, they're
that's not even intelligence. They can't answer it because they know that answer is just
The
fucking
fucking,
hatred.
It's like
guy-
those interviews are sitting going like, oh, they're coming over, they're not working, they're getting all these like benefits and all that. And it's like, that's a business. You just burnt down a business.
the fella's down drinking in the thing who's on the DLA.
Yeah.
And the Rangers Club
Don't need
hasn't
to bring
worked
me
in
into
fucking
this.
20
I
years.
don't-
No, not you. You work.
Do you remember that one? Do you?
Oh.
The skinny old man with the glasses and all. I was taken back. Like he couldn't even answer why.
But that's what I mean. Like, he's on benefits and he's
Yeah.
fucking giving off about people on benefits.
they
And
shouldn't
I do
even
stuff
be
on
there,
stage about that.
Yeah.
Like, there was a guy I knew and he was like, fucking can't believe these cunts come over here and they get a hand at a car wash. Fucking stand washing cars all day. And I went, you leave school at 16, you haven't worked one day in your life.
And they're saying that like standing washing cars all day in our weather is the dream job. It's fucking freezing.
But he
and you
doesn't-
just stand outside.
But the same
washing
guy
cars.
doesn't even wash his own balls. Do you know what I mean? So like it's
Yeah, I don't
fucking
do
one of
that,
them ones.
yeah.
But that's the type
That's
of
all right,
people.
I'm all right.
But that's my point. It's not intelligent people that's coming out here that don't have the proper argument for it. That don't.
I know.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
the spokespeople, so people go, look how stupid they look. It is stupid because what they're saying doesn't make sense when you put it all together. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But you're a wedding photographer.
I am a wedding photographer, videographer. I have a whole team.
Straight away from
What a
this. Let's get a bit-
segue. What a segue.
Well, it's like, it is, but everyone says it's a bit of a contrast, John. Because I was before, like, I was in the fast food industry.
Yep.
So if someone knows me, like, people know me from Lisbon, and I had a takeaway in all this Lisbon,
Yeah.
But
Wouldn't have had you in that bracket, by the way.
no,
Having fast food
I
place,
talk
right?
shade for fuck's sake. Everyone says that. When I
had
say
fast
people
food,
say,
seriously?
fast food, yeah. Everyone thinks fucking. This is it's so cliche. You think, let's see a Chinaman, you automatically think, this guy cooks chicken curry. This guy, I wonder what takeaway he owns. Wonder what takeaway he works in. But that's the same thing. I do get that there. It's like, well, what takeaway do you own?
And now you don't. Now
Yeah.
you're a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
You've got out of the curry market.
Oh, flipping, that was so hard, that one. So
Yeah.
that
Well,
was
it's a
so
tough
hard.
job to do, but
It's a
let me
hard
tell
job,
you
eh?
something. See all the guys at the march? I guarantee you when they left the march and they fucking went home, they either got a kebab or a fucking cheese. Do you know what I mean? And it's everywhere you look, there's a fucking Chinese table.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So-
yeah.
Why'd you go from the food game to photography? What was that jump?
It was funny. So it was whenever I had the fast food, my kids were young. Whenever I had to take away, like my kids were very young, I used to take them out all the time, and I used to have a camera, but it wasn't like a phone camera. It was just always the big, people call them back then paparazzi camera, and I was taking photos. And so from there, I ended up doing a gig in a magazine, and then from there, I wasn't. From there, I just went into what's the best route to go. So I thought to myself, what's the best route to go? I thought, fuck it. One of my other friends said to me, just do weddings. So never look back, done weddings.
Because weddings is a big market.
It is a big market, so it is. It's saturated with photographers, videographers. It's saturated now.
And you'll have to be good at what you do.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
competitive in your price as well.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was getting married, it was one of them, we were just at the threshold of like people spending big money on a fucking wedding.
Yeah.
Because I remember our ones going, what? You're spending this and that? And we went around the country looking for a photographer, and then somebody was like, this is the top photographer in Northern Ireland, and you want to get him. And we went up and met him. And I actually didn't fully like his photographs. The other guy wanted to hadn't won wedding photographer of the year and all this here.
But I don't go by that.
But
anymore.
I liked his stuff.
Yeah.
And then we went with the fucking guy that won, and then the other guy that we fucking didn't won it 2 years in a row after.
Well,
so he was up and coming. But I genuinely, and I don't think my wife even liked the photographs she got. Do you know? So
who was the photographer?
I'm not saying his name.
We'll take it off. Just say it. Honestly, just say it. I'm not.
He was from, but we get asked to do weddings all the time. I can do them, but you're not guaranteed that, like, see in our game, a comedian at a wedding, you're not guaranteed it's going to be good, because it's one of them ones, people aren't there for you. Do you give it like a comedian, right? So what happens is, you at a fucking wedding are like, people, if you said to people, give us the top 10 things that you expect to see at a wedding. Wedding dress, photographer, priest, or fucking reverend. You know, all them things fall into it. A comedian is not on the list.
Yeah.
So when we go to do it,
different things. So
when we go to do it, like, people are like, what the fuck? And then you'll always have an uncle who thinks that he's the funniest bastard and he's been funny all day. And then we're trying to be funny at top, but you know what I mean?
We're also in the way of them having a good night almost. Because you know, it's like at a wedding, you're having a meal, then there's the speeches, and the speeches can go on. You're like, oh, good, the dad's crying now, the mom's crying.
I'm just thinking here, you know, if you were to do a wedding, so what part of the day? There's no.
I tell them the best part of the time for me to do it is directly once the fucking dessert's handed out.
Yeah.
When the dessert's handed out and they're just finished the speeches.
So how long would your sets be?
The longest I've done at a wedding's an hour and 15, and that was about.
Fuck me, an hour 15.
That was like.
Fuck
it
off,
was
man.
30 minutes too long. Like 35 minutes max is how long you should do. 35 and 25 is probably the best number. Like 25 is enough.
As a wedding photographer, I wouldn't be impressed with that there. After the search, you know, normally everyone would be ushered out. The room gets turned around, and you're
for the band.
If you're heading for the band and whatever, you're heading that up.
But once the music, see, wants to turn the lights off and they have a dance floor, and then there's a big space and all, it's no good. I need to be standing in front of the actual fucking top table when everybody's still seated, close up, and do the comedy end. See, once they turn the lights off and the fucking dance floor happens, no chance.
That has happened to me.
It's the worst. It doesn't work. Comedy
doesn't
work when the people's not up.
I've had weddings where they're like just fucking blurring superstar. And then they'll just be like, and now here's the comedian, turn it down. So they're all up in the dance floor.
Willie's going to tell a couple of jokes.
You have a kid. You have a kid sliding across the fucking dance floor on his knees. No,
that's me making my way on the stage.
And by that stage they're well on, so they're like in and out smoking and all. So the best time to get them is when they're still seated.
Yeah, that would be the best time. Like, so if there's always a set, like every now and again, maybe 1 out of 2 out of 10 weddings, there would be a set doing someone would doing the singing waiters. That would take up about 20 minutes. But for us as wedding photographers and videographers, we literally don't get that break on that day. It's a non-stop. It's literally non-stop from the morning you meet the bride and groom in the morning till about a few songs after the first dance. And if there's a thing like singing waiter, and that would be done just before the desserts is served, that would be done. So our break just we don't get a proper break, so it just goes on non-stop.
We last minute decided to go with a guy to do videographer at the wedding. And it's the fucking one thing that we loved.
Yeah,
And he was like, I can do up until the end of the speeches. And he says, and then it's like, and it was cheap when I think about it, he was like, and then it's like 150 quid. It was like 400 quid, and he says, and then 150 quid for every hour after that. And the maximum I do is 2. And I went up and I went, keep going. And he went, right. And then he done it. And he was like, that's me, I'm out. And I'm like, please do an hour. And he's like, no. So we had like until just after the first dance. And then we got like an hour. And then
I find as well with even with the video, people, maybe about half the weddings I do, that don't. Like, you know, actually, they're actually more now, so there's less, because most of our packages is just photo and film. Like, everything else on the day, you know, your wedding, everything just comes and go, but you're flipping your photos and your film is something to look back on.
No, I get you.
You know,
so that's, you're recording the event, 100%. And so there is a market for it. What's the maddest thing you've seen at a wedding?
Oh, jeepers, flip's sake.
Putting you on the spot here?
You have put me on the spot.
Right.
There has
Well,
been
what's the
something.
maddest thing you've seen in the takeaway?
The takeaway, flip's sake. I had a girl come in. No, I can't even say it.
You can't go on
No,
set.
for fuck's sake, no.
Working in the takeaways, you probably deal with a lot of the drunk public, like.
I will do, yeah. Flip's sake. I remember it. What you would this can go on online, but we still talk about it to this day.
Yep.
I was flipping serving this guy. No, first of all, it was a girl came in and she was black, and she just staggered into the takeaway when I was flipping where I was working and I owned, and she's turned around and she started talking big load of shit. But then she says, "Oh, I just got split roasted. You know, I got split roasted." So then in town, I don't know if I done a wrong thing, or I can't remember the entirety of it, but she got split roasted. But then next thing you know, this other chap drinking from another bar comes into the fucking takeaway. Next thing you know, them two were kissing. I said, "You fucking dirty bastard. You don't have to just sucking someone off. Or fuck's like a split roasted." That is so bad.
I know the fact she's got spit roasted and then went, I'd love a wee Chinese.
Yeah, I love a Chinese.
Yeah.
And when I'm in a Chinese, I'll just make out with some other random dude. Or fuck's sake.
It works up an appetite that there, do you know what I mean? And split roasted.
I could
There
have
has
curry
been
chicken.
some-
Can I get a curry split?
Yeah. I was so disgusting. Like, so what I thought was, oh, you fuck. She was just talking about split roasting, and she just got split roasted in town. Lisbon town.
I used to.
It's worse that it was in Lisbon. Like.
Do you remember? Did you ever?
It was outside Wetherspoons.
Spit roasted in Lisbon, so it's like it'd be a lovely novel.
What were you gonna say?
Well, there was no fucking hotels.
It's like Sleepless
There was
in
no
Seattle.
hotels. Like, I just had to fucking do it in Witherspoons.
So sorry. You know, Wetherspoons. I know where the orchards and Wetherspoons are. Just at the back end there. Fucking the chaps. She was all detailed. So it was all detailed. And she was blacked. So she was.
Unbelievable.
Outstanding.
What were you gonna say?
I was saying, do you remember me doing deliveries for the Chinese?
I don't remember you doing it. No.
Did you ever come out with me? No.
No.
You were too young.
Yeah.
And then I brought like my cousin's wee lad with me to do the Chinese, right? And he would. I just done it to speed it up because the girl that worked in the Chinese, I'd done Andy Town, Freddy's Kitchen, and the girl, she was brilliant that worked on the counter because she would take the first order, and if it was up the road, Poglass, Twimbrook, Lannadown, she just took. She used to answer the phone and went down the falls. She used to go, "It's going to be an hour."
Yeah.
Because if you give me a 10, then one's up, and then so she just took. So you weren't all over the place.
Yeah.
And you could make a fortune. Like back in the day, I was making like 150 quid in a Saturday night on top of my 17 quid doing
Is that
deliveries.
Freddy's Kitchen still there?
Ah, it's still there.
But is it still called Freddy's Kitchen?
It's still
Yeah,
cool.
is it?
It's still, and their curry's different from everybody else. It was really spacey curry. They were very good to me when I worked for them. Like Christmas and all, to give me and give my partner and all, to give them Christmas
point to
presents
me?
and all. What?
You pointed at me
My
and said my partner.
Everybody thinks
We
my
were
partner.
together that Christmas. It was a weird Christmas.
You look like my partner that's been a wee bit sick and got the head and all.
Jesus Christ.
You do have that look about
Right.
it. Because you lost loads of weight and all, do you know what I mean?
I'm just going more and more train spotting by the day.
You are.
I'm trying to look like
You
that.
are. That's the look you're giving off.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
But,
dun, 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 dun.
I would do them, and I brought out my cousin's wee boy, and we were doing the deliveries for about 4 weeks. It was working really well, so I would go to him, right, what's the next one? And he was like, oh, the next one's in Poglass, and it's fucking this amount. And I would go, right, and I would get the change out and have it sitting there, and I was like, bring the fiver with you, and bring the change. If they give you a tenner, you give them that. If they give you 20, you give them that. Write that on. I'm had it all worked out. And he was only like fucking 9 or 10. And he would run the door, and he was doing. He always had a big pocket of change because as a kid coming to the doors, people always go, "Where's a tip for you?"
Yeah, tip I.
And I was going, "Fuck, you're getting more tips than I get. You be fucking."
Yeah, flip side. You know, but
And I would give him a tenner. So this week, say we were doing it for like 3 weeks, and he couldn't come out one week, and I was like, right, so I had to fucking do it my own. And I was going up the door, and the people, I was going up, and I was going 480, and they were going, the prices go down again, and I was like, what? And they were like, the wee fucker was putting 20 and 30p on to every order.
Fucking
And
smart
at the
bollocks.
wee smart fucker, he was only
smart
9,
cunt.
and he was going up, and they were going, oh, the prices went up, so the wee lad told us when he came to the door, 20p or 30.
Very good.
That wee fucking bastard. Not only is he getting all the tips, he was getting the extra 20, 30p of fucking delivery. Plus, I was fucking paying him, me, wee fucker,
He probably made more money than you.
But my missus,
smart cunt.
my missus, I was only going with Andrew at the time, and she says to me, you're out doing them deliveries and all, does he ever get anybody throwing it on to you? And I genuinely had never Never. Like, doing deliveries, never had anybody say to me, do you want to come in or fucking give us your number?
How?
But that's what I mean. Do you know why people have this fucking thing in their head? Has anybody ever asked you for your phone number or anything? Like, I was a young fella driving a nice car, so she was going, has anybody ever? And I mean, no. And we were going to my ma's caravan, and I still had to work. And I said, tell her ma, look, I have to do deliveries, but we're going to the caravan, so we'll be finished at 12 o'clock, and then we're driving to Carnlough. It's like, right. And Andre came out in the car with me, and we done a delivery to a house, right, in West Belfast. And the fella and girl were having a drink. And the fella was like, do you want a drink? And I was like, I'm delivering. And he's like, come on in, no, fucking, what's your name? Me, Paddy. Oh, fucking Paddy, here, sit down. I mean, no, I can't sit down. And I went out and I went, fucking them two was trying to get me to go in and have a drink in their house, right? And she went, right, never thought nothing more about it. Say I was about 7 o'clock, 11:45, one of the last deliveries. They ordered a fried rice, just a fried rice to their house. And I went, that's at the house from earlier on, they've ordered a fried rice. And I mean, maybe they still have some of the sauce left and they want a fried rice to go with it. But it was ridiculous because it was one delivery for fucking... A fried rice was $1.40 or something at the time. And I'm going, for fuck's sake, they're spending more on delivery to get a fucking fried rice. And we get up and the fucking girl came to the door and pulled me in.
Fuck.
And my missus jumped out of the car and your woman was going, oh, come on in. And I was going, fucking sure. And your mom was fucking on the sofa. I remember keeping Andrea back. And then fucking handing your woman the Chinese, and your woman fell down the hall. She was black. And she's like, well, want you to come in and have a party with us and all, right? And I went, for all the fucking times that I've been delivering, it's never happened. The night that she's in the fucking car. And I just remember lifting your man up by the belt and putting my hand into his pocket to get the money because nobody was paying.
Oh, fuck, I thought I was going somewhere else.
And pulling out the money and then giving your man that he was just fucking lying there. And he's like, yeah, it's them to party with us. And I was like, no. And the only time it ever happened, and she was in the car.
He never did deliveries in Lisbon again after that.
John, your house was mad.
No, I remember doing deliveries. Whenever I first started doing deliveries, I was in 17 for my dad's takeaway.
What age are you, John?
48. Yeah,
Fuck
48.
off, are you?
I'm 48.
You genuine? I thought you were way younger than that.
Oh, thank you. Fucking, is that chicken feet? Didn't you say? Honestly, my ma fed me chicken feet. You know, like chicken feet broth and all when I was a kid.
Chicken feed, like, did you give to the chicken?
Oh, aye.
No,
the chicken feet off a chicken.
I thought you said chicken feed, or I was going, what?
Oh, chicken feet, no feet.
Like the fucking meat pellets they eat. And I was like,
we fucking cunts were kicking football and then someone's
what the
There's your dinner, just fucks around the garden. There you go.
John, you have to pack it up.
Yeah, fucking
It's like salt pan it over.
No, but
there you
I
go.
remember, whenever we were talking about that there, I'm thinking, there was an incident. We used to flip and go down to this house, deliver to this house all the fucking time. And we used to fight over it. Because not only we get a pound tip back in the flipping 90s, you would have got an extra pound tip, you know, but this woman used to come out in her lingerie. We didn't take no heat of the lingerie. It was always that pound tip. Honestly, this is no word of a lie. We took no...
Hi, boys. Never mind, get the fucking pound out.
Get the pound tip out, that's it. We used to fight about it, so we did. We used to fight who's going down
Was
the
she
house.
great?
No.
No, you see, that's why you didn't take any fucking notice.
She was looking at
This
to get
is-
their
you can't-
pound
you
tip
couldn't
out.
even-
Let's take that there.
Paddy,
Hiya, Johnny.
you couldn't make those kind of stories up. But you know, we literally weren't interested in her lingerie or her looks. It was that pound tip.
Is that pound?
Hey, that would wreck my self-esteem if I came out in the best lingerie and they're just like, I'll take the quid instead. I'll take £1.
You can have the pound or this
Rather
here.
than look at you, Nick, fucking out the window.
She pulls her muff out and you put the pound in the slat.
Oh fuck no! Fuck. Jesus.
Trying to get change of a
Oh,
pound.
flop. You want that pound tip? Come and get it from my slot machine.
Fuck
Ugh.
It would never be fucking like a gorgeous woman anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It never is.
Oh, no gorgeous woman is ringing the Chinese to
that's
fuck
what I
the
mean.
delivery driver.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And they make the stories on Pornhub and all. It's not true. It doesn't fucking
It
happen.
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
What stays in porn, what's made of
Yeah,
porn,
yeah.
stays in porn. That's not reality. You know what I'm saying?
So when we were talking before, and I was saying what passport you have, and John says, "I'm a British one. I'm British." And I was like,
Good man, John.
Get the fuck out.
Good
Get
man.
But
Stay, you're one of us.
He's going to get the Irish one too.
I'm going to get an Irish passport.
Talk them into
Are you?
Yeah.
Can you also get the a Chinese one?
Oh yeah, I have a Chinese. It's an ID card. So there's also a Hong Kong passport.
Yeah.
Which I don't have yet. But yeah.
Oh, is it like here? It's a
Well,
dual
Hong
nationality.
Kong, you could still get the British passport.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's
yeah.
I don't know if you still can now, but there was a time period.
There
when
was a
patent
time period, yes.
that you could get, and you could have both.
I think you still can. There's a lot of like British colonies that still are entitled to.
But there was a time scale on it with the
right.
when
Yeah.
patent done the whole crossover. I can remember reading about it.
Because
That's only going back a few years ago. There wasn't
Yeah.
a lot of they opened the gates to fucking Hong Kongers because of all that fucking rioting in Hong Kong. Remember that's only
right.
going back a few years ago. I know a couple of people now, so they here that came over from Hong Kong. So if you have money in Hong Kong, if you have money, then you're able to set up here.
Then come and do it.
Come and do it, yeah.
There's a thing that is said, right? That I know is said, right? People here would say, you never see a Chinese funeral.
Oh, there's loads of them up in the fucking, what do you call that one up in Donald? No.
But it's because like the Protestants, they play wave music and all at their funerals, right?
Is that right?
Their funerals are different than Catholic funerals.
Not all of them.
Not all
like
of them,
a traditional one, but
there is differences at the funerals.
yeah. I've
like
been to a few
between
funerals
Catholic
they'll
and
play
Protestant.
like trance music.
Is that? Oh, I've never heard of that there.
So
Yeah, I've
there
been
is
there for-
differences in funerals, and even like if you go to Scotland, they do it different than they do it in Ireland.
Right.
You know, we have like, have you been to a Catholic funeral here?
I've been to a few funerals,
Where
yeah.
there's like a
Catholics
wake,
Yeah.
and like the Catholics wake and fucking drink and party and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
There is some Protestants that do that.
Yeah, it's not like
But it's not
we've said
done the
this
way the
before.
Catholics-
Like, this did not like it doesn't happen at every one of them.
No.
But I've been to
No,
a
but
few of
there's
them. Like,
there's differences. So a Chinese funeral, is it different from what we do? Yeah.
Different, completely different now.
So they don't march the body down the road or anything like that, or
Flip. Now I'm going to talk about my granddad's funeral. Was my daddy sadly passed away a couple of years ago, so he has. But his funeral was a wee bit different. But likes of my granddad, his funeral was fully blown kind of one. So what happened was they placed his body just. We live in a wee fishing village in Hong Kong, so it's like way up north a wee bit more out of Hong Kong. So it's not skyscraper territory or anything, but the body was left there for people to just daytime, just left there, open casket and all for people to just say their goodbyes and that kind of thing. And then we have a temple in Hong Kong where we say prayers, sing prayers and all to our ancestors and stuff. So there's a big hoo-ha. So there's a big, it's a big thing. So there's,
Well, the Chinese people, what I know of, like birth's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because isn't it a ruby? Would a ruby be important to Chinese? Like red is the color of money or something like
Red,
that.
yeah.
So like a red envelope and stuff. Because a friend
Yes.
of mine had a baby with a Chinese girl, and he was telling me that like there was the red envelopes
Yes,
just
that's right, yeah.
for money and good luck and stuff
good
like
luck
that.
and stuff,
and
yeah,
then
that's
like a
right.
ruby, like a red stone is an important part. He was another one that he said to me. And then they bought him a Rolex. They bought him a Rolex.
So hold on, who's that? I need to go over and marry into that family.
They bought him a Rolex.
Serious?
And then they expected then something from his family back into the family for her.
Yeah.
And he had to then actually go and finance something for his family to give
Serious?
his wife then as a gift. So there was different traditions, and he says that
There's loads of tradition in Chinese culture. So much I can't even keep up with it.
Yeah.
So I can't.
Would you relate that here, like with your
No,
kids?
fucking, I'm just as white as you. Yeah. So, honestly, I'm flipping.
But that's what I mean. You're more.
You're honestly more Belfast than I am.
yeah.
Like way more
And he
than
was Lisbon. That's the mad thing about it.
But then, flipping, whenever I
more
go to-
smacked out than me.
Yeah.
Did you drive a souped-up motor when you were younger?
I did.
I think I remember you from like. Would you have went to Bangor? To the car cruises or anything?
Cruises,
Because
I went for a stage where I just threw a lot of money at cars. I was just stupid,
I used to see him. Because I had like. I done an Almira up, and then I done like a Punto, and I had like a Punto that was 20 mil off the
A
ground.
Nissan Almira.
Nissan Almira.
The fuck.
I know, but the way around that was we had a big engine put on it, so we would buy like a 1.4 engine car for the insurance purposes.
Oh,
and then
yes,
stick
yes,
like
yes.
a Nissan GT-IR engine in it and stuff.
Serious.
Aye.
From
And then I had a Punto, which was a Punto Sporting, but we had a GT engine put into it and stuff like that. And we flushed all it. There was no handles on it. There was
Serious?
You had to push under the button to get it. Like magazines.
Funny enough, like on TikTok, I follow this guy, so and he's doing that the Corsa B,
Yep.
the wing doors
Back
and
in
all.
the day, yeah.
But he is just flipping stripping that down and just rebuilding it and trying to make it immaculate as he can. It's actually quite interesting.
What car did you have back in the day?
I had wee courses and flipping Metro GTAs and then when I went into bigger stuff, I had the Imprezas and stuff.
I remember a mate of mine brought me out. There was a Chinese guy out in Lisbon, which is why it came into my head. And they lived on a house on a road on its own. And they had a couple of wee souped up cars in the driveway. And
I don't know who that was.
I'm trying to remember the fucking name of the guy.
In Lisbon?
In Lisbon. So just in the back roads or just before you're heading to the city. And it was on a wee road on its own. It was a detached house on its own. And they had, I'm trying to remember a fucking fella's name. And he was into his cars like us back in the day. And we would spend 20 grand on a fucking 10 grand car.
Yeah.
Do you know, and you never get the money back.
Oh, you never did. Like,
Do you know, it was a fucking, but it was all about getting your car featured in a magazine.
Aye, Max Power.
And
that's right.
Red Line and all that.
Yeah.
And I used to, but I was one of the only ones from West Belfast that they sort of accepted because they didn't trust everybody. So we're like, because if you knew where everybody lived with their cars, they were like, and they were really weird about me because they were like, he's from West Belfast, they're going to come and steal the cars if they know where we live. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was mostly a Protestant scene. So it was one of
I didn't know what there.
Aye, and then Chris Suter would have been there. Do you know who? Suter brothers.
Yeah.
He had the souped up cars and all.
Yeah.
Like loads of people back in the day.
Did you have anything featured in Max Power?
I had one of the cars that was featured, but I hadn't done the car, and then I eventually bought it.
Flip.
So
So I used to go to
the yellow Punto.
I used to go to the Max Power gigs, like the things like Edinburgh and all that.
Yeah.
We used to travel over for it, just for a bit of crack.
Well, I done that back in the day, like, and I just remember that it came into my head that one house with a Chinese guy, and he had it was a Japanese imported car he had, and I'm trying to remember what type it was. My mate brought me out, and then he was a wee bit funny. He's like, "Is your mate not from West Belfast?" And he was like, "Ah, but he's alright. He's not going to steal your car." Like. Do you know what I mean? He was worried about me. He was just a wee bit cagey. I remember being down that car park in Bangor, and all the Novas were sitting together.
Aye.
There was about 6 or 7 Novas sitting together, and this one guy, and he's like, "Oh, there's about 12 grand in it." And I said to him, "I can start that without even the key." And he was like, "No, you can't," because they used to give me shit being from West Belfast. And see if you took out the hazard light,
That's right.
the switch,
That's right.
turned it upside down, and put it back in.
That's right. I remember that.
It lit up, and then you just needed to push it, and it would start. And he was fucking heartbroken. And he was like, "How do I stop this?" And I went, "You can't. It's the wiring of the car."
My Corsa B was like a Clifford alarm.
Yeah.
You just push it, start and stop.
Clifford alarm, remember that?
Now, fucking, I can just go into my app and turn that Land Rover on
And get it going.
And get it going. Fucking warm up the car and stuff. It's crazy how fucking technology revolves.
Have you done? I'm going away from that. Have you done a wedding where the fella and girl's not together anymore?
Yeah.
Like at the wedding or since?
No, since you've done the wedding.
It's crazy. Like, I've done a wedding, so I have, and a couple of years later, the wife is now with someone that I know,
Right. Okay.
and I was pretty shocked. I was like, oh.
Did they meet them at the wedding?
No, they didn't. I don't think so.
It happens.
It happens. It does happen.
How many times have you been married?
Oh, flip! I married my eldest mummy. I thought I was in love and that was it, or something, but it wasn't. Just madness, pure madness. But I've married at 19. I got married.
Jesus.
Had Timmy when I was 19. My Timmy's 28. And then I got with my 2 younger boys, fucking for a lot of years, and we lived up around these areas. So we did, and then fucking due to get married again.
So 3 times.
3 times, third time lucky.
And when is your wedding?
My wedding is the 30th of guys, you're hearing this first. I'm getting married 30th of September this year.
Are you having the big one or
No, we're gonna have a small wedding. So
Yes.
this, I feel this one's right. It's like it just came out of nowhere. I thought, yeah, this is
And
right.
where's your missus from?
She's from Finnegy, so she is.
Very cool.
She's from Finnegy girl. So she is.
Local
Chinese,
woman.
Local woman. So she is.
And does her family have a takeaway?
used to have a takeaway up in Glengormley.
Oh, you
So I
go.
did. But yeah, I'm getting married where you got married, Galgorm.
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 Very nice.
Yeah.
That's the small wedding in the Galgorm?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. It's awful fancy, you know?
Look, is I wouldn't. Reason why I choose Galgorm, like people might say why Galgorm, is we like a Galgorm. You know, things that we're having a wee break, we stressful day or something.
You just go up the day spa.
Day spa, just relax, chill a wee bit, that kind of thing. And then I just want everyone just be to one place, you know, and just be done with it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Get you.
You know, I'm not a drinker, so the night time sort of wasted on me.
Yes. Know what
So
you
it
mean.
is.
I see. You don't want that. And how many guests is going to have, do you reckon?
We're looking at about 80, so we're.
Big enough wedding there, will it?
Fuck me. 80, that's the small one?
Small one.
Yeah.
Maddie's in the big one.
But like we done a wedding there like last week. We done a wedding up in Derry, London, 180 plus. That's a big one.
She done 2 weddings then?
Yeah.
Derry and London Derry.
Well, you don't have to say that there, you know.
Pick a side,
You don't have to say.
Listen, you don't have to. You say one of the fucking hour and you stick to
I
it.
was always brought up to be called London Derry.
There you go, then you
Or
said.
say, you know, but yes.
So you're from
Yeah.
London to Hong Kong?
Hong or Hong Kong. Hong or Hong Kong.
London, Hong Kong?
Or flow say.
Or London,
But
Lisbon?
now, but sure, Hong Kong's China now. So it is.
Yeah.
You know, so people say
It always
China.
was then. Brits
Yeah.
took it off.
Brits
Fucking,
took it off.
the fucking Brits took it. And you need to remember
Yeah.
it there.
Yes,
The fucking done that
I
here
only
too.
learned I only learned about this year. So that with the Brits taking it over, I was like basically Hong Kong on loan.
Yeah.
That's like that's crazy.
And
Yeah.
so, do you think, see people in Hong Kong, would they feel nationally like they're Hong Kong, but
No, I think the majority of Hong Kongers do feel that they're part of Britain. I
So
feel
they,
that there,
so
you
they,
know, because they were born into that there. You know, it was British influence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're driving the Hong Kongers driving the right or left hand like us driving the left. But if you cross the border into China, they drive on the right.
Yeah. It completely changed culture and they grew up in it. And that's
Yeah,
the thing. Do
that's
you know
it.
what I mean? Have you ever been in Orange March?
No, but I've been brought up watching it.
Yes.
But I know nothing about it.
Aye, but
you know, but no
you-
disrespect to anyone.
neither
but
does
Yeah.
most people in them. You're
Yeah, yeah.
But it's stuff that fucking...
I grew up,
It
you know.
must be mad for you to see, like, me and him came from 2 different backgrounds.
Yeah,
Do you know? But yet...
it has
10
been.
minutes
It
up the
has
road,
been
two
literally
different
madness.
backgrounds. Two different backgrounds.
I've seen like growing up. The 12th of July would have been Protestant thing.
Yeah.
But growing up, I would have seen the diversity. I would have seen the Catholic people going to bonfires and enjoying it with the Protestants.
Yes, because they grew up in there or whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's great
Plus
to
you can
see. So
finger
that's,
someone
that's
Yeah.
you what?
You can you get your hole at the bonfire.
Oh yeah, I know about
That's
that.
why
Yeah,
He knows about that. That's right. He knows.
But like, did
Your woman in the Chinese, bro.
Yeah, but I always remembered, Ballymaccash bonfire in Lisbon, there was a diversity. Yes, there was Catholic ones coming up. And I thought, that's great to see. It's actually great to see.
Here's a question I have. No way, to say on the 12th, a lot of businesses close. Would you keep yours open on the 12th day? Get that
fuck, dude.
business.
We did open on the 12th.
Fucking good, man.
And he
So
had the
the-
Union Jacks in the fucking window.
Union Jackson all singing this, playing the sash and all, yeah.
He's on
Encore and fa. It was like wrong size.
Yeah.
I'll go off.
Fucking those words.
Encore and
What is the size in Cantonese?
Fuck, I don't know.
No. That's a fuck. That's a market. That's the market there, John. That's what you need to do is learn the size in Cantonese. I swear to
I don't
fuck.
even fucking know the words. But that's the sort of
Tell the
stuff.
truth,
That's the sort of stuff we grew up with.
Yeah.
But like growing up, you're talking about growing up. How it was. I remember growing up when I was in my teens. My ma used to say to me, "Don't be going into Belfast," because of all the troubles and stuff. Going into Belfast, stay. You're going into Belfast. Please don't be going to Belfast, or you find out what days not to go and stuff like that. But then there's always a thing that's always stuck in my head: stay away from Europa, because it always gets bombed.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That's the sort of stuff I would have dealt with growing up.
Yeah.
Associated with.
You know.
And you did grow up in the time, like you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, so
Yeah.
You would have been in the heart of it. Do you know what I mean?
The heart of it, and all the soldiers and all walking up like 2 by 2 up the streets everywhere, parading Lisbon.
Did you ever shout at them, "Get the fuck out"?
No, fucking.
He's from Lisbon. He's like, come on in, lads.
I know.
Want a cup of tea?
Yes,
You
mate,
want a cup of coffee? Want a curry chip?
Want to hear the session Cantonese? You fucking like that beat, you me fucker.
John's going, go back to your own fucking country.
How do you sing the sash in Irish then?
Oh, fucking. In Jerry Adams' voice.
Or voice like?
In Jerry Adams' voice.
Oh, good.
Well, I don't know about you guys. What were you on there?
About 50 minutes.
Aye, this has been a fucking great episode.
Yeah, very fun.
John, thank you for coming in.
No
mate.
problem.
Have you anything you want to advertise
Yes.
or plug before you go? Just into that wee camera there.
Guys, I'm a wedding photographer. A lot of you would know me. I'm Epic Journal Photography and Film. Guys, when I'm out photographing and filming your wedding, I am sensible.
We'll put a wee link up, and if anybody wants the link or wants to know it. But what I got John on for is because I love your videos, mate. Them wee
Well, thank
videos
you.
of you in the way sitting there.
That's just my nature.
That is
So it is.
fucking. That's proper fucking humor from here, and
Well,
fucking
brilliant,
keep
brilliant.
doing what you're doing, mate. I
Try my
absolutely
best, try my
fucking love
best.
it, and hope maybe see you again. I'll have to get you one of the gigs. Do you ever go? Have you been to comedy night?
See, to be quite honest, no disrespect, guys. Okay, I'm not into the comedy scene. I'm not into the podcast scene. But ever since me doing this your TikTok business,
Yes.
all these podcast companies and all, because I'm like you do yourself reaching it and like the working class reaching it
Yep.
before it just all floods my page. I was like, oh, fuck, that's brilliant.
Well, it's good for your business as well as anything
But then
else.
again, with my bag of noodles, my Instagram and TikTok, I've actually kept my business out of it.
You get you.
You know, I'm always working
because you have to
like
be professional.
Yeah,
for the
I have to
wedding.
be professional.
Yes.
And if someone's like, that's funny enough. I got speaking to one of my clients last night. That's wedding. I'm just on the final consultation with him, and he said he found me on TikTok.
There you
So I
go.
did. And then I got bookings from TikTok. So
Yeah.
okay, that's good. But I'm just worried. Sometimes people maybe the more sensible people, like they don't enjoy
Yes.
our kind of humor.
Get you.
They say,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Get
we
you.
can't have this guy on because he's
Yes.
just swearing as I'm playing at the wedding." Guys, I am very sensible at the weddings.
There you go.
It's very professional all the way through, guys.
Proper man, proper professional there. Getting that across.
They're fucks.
But see, if you want to go in the night, fucking man's a man. Mate, John's taking me to Ballymackay Spoonfire this year.
We're gonna get
He knows all the boys.
We're
Right,
gonna
well,
get the church out.
thank you very much. William, anything to plug?
Nope.
Simple. Nope. I'm still on tour at the minute. I've got the Dagger tour with added shows in Strabane, Limavady, an extra one in Dailies, and yes, and I have the SSE in October. So get your tickets, get on. It's a new show in October called Gouts Out. The show we're on at the minute is Dagger. Keep her lit. Subscribe to the Patreon and you get the bonus episode. See you all soon, folks. Good day.
I feel